Today I want to share my thoughts on creating, why we create, and why we can feel stuck and feel unable to create during these difficult times with COVID and lockdown. Hi there, my name is Irene. Welcome to the Sugaridoo YouTube channel. This is a channel where I share happy quilting projects, where I share tips and tricks on quilting, and today I just wanted to take a second to have a little chat and talk about why we create. This week I read a comment from a viewer on my YouTube channel, and she was writing about feeling stuck during lockdown, not able to create, sitting in her sewing room, not feeling her best. And I so completely understand that feeling. I really recognize it, that you can feel like that during difficult times. So I thought, let's just record a video about why we create. So I'm not going to create something this video, but just wanted to have a chat with you. There are so many different reasons on why people create things. And by creating, I don't necessarily mean designing something brand new and something spectacular, but just making something with your hands. To create something with materials, make it into something that wasn't there before. That's what I mean by creating. And I think there are many reasons why we create. For me, the biggest reason to create is to feel the joy of making something, working with pretty materials. That already makes me happy. So when I have a pile of fabrics which I can turn into something new, already the picking out of the fabrics, choosing colors, everything in that process are tiny bits that make me super happy. So I know that when I go to create something, when I decide that I'm going to quilt, or when I decide to start on a new project, it really excites me. So mostly that's my reason to create. But while I'm creating, I can also see different effects in there, besides having the joy. So it takes your mind off of things. So when you're having a difficult time, or like now, a lot of us are in lockdown or have restrictions due to COVID, it can take your mind off things because you're needing to focus on something. You're using your hands, you're using your creative space in your mind to make something. That kind of takes your mind off of things that it keeps on thinking about but can't do anything about. And while you're creating, you're really making something. So that can give a positive impulse to your brain, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not a brain scientist. I don't know how exactly it works, but I experience it, that when you make something, just the making itself, the doing, is so much better than having your phone and scrolling or worrying or anything like that. So the making can take your mind off of things. Something else that creating does is it gives you a super big satisfaction when you finish something, when you've accomplished something that you really did. Instead of just going to a shop and buy a bag. When you make a bag yourself, it is such a satisfaction when it's finished, and it's such a good feeling to feel proud of yourself. One side note on that, of course, is to allow yourself to feel proud about it, because it's super easy to see all the little things in your project that weren't perfect. So it is a kind of a skill to learn to be proud of the things you made. But when you kind of getting the hang of that, you can give yourself a pat on the back for where you finish something. It is such a awesome feeling that you went from a pile of fabrics to a finished project. That is such a great feeling. So that could be a reason to start and to pick up a project and to make something, because you know that when you finished it, that is going to be such a great feeling, such a satisfied feeling. Another reason to create could be that you then are able to share what you make with the world, with other people, that you can make people happy with what you've made, to inspire them, or maybe even to share the making process with friends, like a quilt bee, or now you can have digital online quilt bees. sharing that making, that's also a great reason to create, and finding that community. For example, on Instagram, it can be so much fun to post what you're working on and find through hashtags other people that are also working on similar projects, see how they're doing, give them a nice comment on encouraging them, on supporting each other in what you're making. Creating can really, I think, bring us together as makers, and that's a really nice thing, because like me in my sewing room, I'm just here by myself, but then when I share a project and get feedback on it, or hop over to other people's Instagram and look what they are making, it immediately feels like we're connected through our quilting, through our making, and that's a really great feeling. The other side of Instagram, so it can be very inspiring and encouraging to start creating and making yourself, but when you're scrolling too long and when you're spending too much time on there, it can feel discouraging. I do feel discouraged so often when I'm on Instagram too much, because you see all those perfect pictures from other people and it looks so easy for them to roll out a project after another. But I think that is because you see so many pretty pictures from so many different people. So Instagram is not just one person making all those pretty projects. It is so many people making so many wonderful things. So when you just scroll, you see all those pretty pictures and think, why can't I create something today? Why don't I get myself to make something? Because sometimes you just feel stuck, what I'm going to talk about in a few seconds. That can feel discouraging. So when Instagram makes you feel like that, please scale down on the time you spend on it, because it's not worth it to compare yourself to everybody, and everybody's on a different level as well. So it could be that you are having so much fun making what you're making, then you post it, or then you don't even post it but go on Instagram and compare yourself with someone else who've been making quilts for years and years and is further on the road of learning things. So that can be difficult to compare yourself with that. It can be very easy to compare yourself with it, but it can give a difficult a feeling of unease to compare yourself. And I guess what's a great thing to keep in mind then is that everybody started somewhere. Everybody started at zero and learned. And some people learn faster, yes, of course, but everybody had that path of learning and didn't start where you see them having beautiful pictures of finished projects. They didn't start there, they started somewhere. And keeping that in mind makes it a little bit easier to don't get lost in the comparison game, and feel good about what you made. Then you can also value it better, I guess. Then you can be proud on yourself more easily, because you keep in mind that everybody started somewhere. So that what you're doing now is your road to where you want to go and what you want to learn. And that every project you make now is part of your journey in your quilting. So what if you do want to create but you feel like you're stuck? I've been there, and it's very, very frustrating, because you're sitting, maybe you have a sewing room or you have a closet with fabrics, and you're sitting there and thinking, yes, okay, I have a day off, I am going to make something, but you're just not feeling so well and you're stuck and you can't get yourself to do it. It's frustrating, because on one hand you kind of know that it will bring you joy when you do it, but it feels like a kind of self-sabotage that you don't start, or that you just can't get yourself to do it. It's super weird, because it's something fun. So why is there that thing of being stuck? I have it as well sometimes, and it's strange, but you can break it. And I think the main thing to break that feeling is not to be too hard on yourself. Just sit with it. Why are you feeling stuck? Why are you not jumping into your fabrics? Just allow that feeling a little bit. It probably is not so comfortable to sit with that feeling, but just allow that feeling to be there. Get yourself a great cup of tea and maybe a cookie or a piece of cake, and just treat yourself to a little time without your phone, just you. Maybe you want to go for a walk. Just feel what you're feeling and say to yourself, it's okay that I'm feeling like this. And when you've allowed yourself to feel what you're feeling, that opens things for me. I'm not sure how it is for you, but for me, when I allow myself to feel what I'm feeling, it opens things. Instead of pushing it away and saying, well, I have the day off, so I have to create something, I have to start quilting, no matter how I'm feeling. Though, when I allow it to be, then it starts flowing. And then I feel much better after allowing myself to feel stuck instead of resisting it and trying to push through it. So then I love to start with something very small. Maybe just sorting my fabrics by color, or going through my scrap boxes and organizing them. Not jumping onto something instantly and thinking, well, I now have to create something, so this is what I'm going to do. Just going through what you have, looking at your projects. And also, I don't want to force myself to work on something that I already started. When I feel that I rather would start something new, that could be great to get out of that stuckness, to get yourself unstuck. It can be great to allow yourself to start something new. On the one hand, it's great to finish something that you've already started, but on the other hand, it can also bring a lot of joy and excitement to start something new. So if you've seen a fun blog that you've came across on Instagram, or if you have something fun, small in mind that you want to make, just pick out some new fabrics and make it. And maybe you don't need to have a finished product in mind, but just see, when you go through your materials, what sparks a little bit of joy and what does get you excited to start. So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to share. There are so many reasons why we want to create, but sometimes we just don't manage to do it because we feel stuck. Just allow yourself time, be super kind to yourself, and start something small. Because feeling overwhelmed, it's not a helping feeling. I know it's just there when it's there. I had it this morning when I thought, I have to film a video, I want to make newsletters, I want to post to Instagram, I want to work on the Bernina call, I should be more in the Facebook group. I all those not helping thoughts. I want to finish my e-course that I'm making on foundation paper piecing. So many exciting things and things that I really want to do, but altogether it can make you feel overwhelmed and then you don't do anything. So instead I had a cup of tea, had a talk with my husband. I lowered my expectations. So here I am, just filming this video talking about a topic that came up. Instead of making a whole project and making a super fancy new video. And this is also okay. Lowering my expectations and just starting small is what got me out of that overwhelmed feeling today. So I hope this video helps you a little bit in some way. I'm going back to working on my e-course, which is launching, by the way, in September. So if you want to be notified and be the first to know when the doors open for my e-course to master foundation paper piecing, so everything you need to know to learn foundation paper piecing on freezer paper, tea bag paper, with all the tips and tricks in one place with a community, you can sign up for my newsletter. I will post a link in the comments, in the description below this video, so you will be the first to get the early bird access with the early bird discount. Hope you'll have a wonderful day today, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!